Man, he gave my start. He took a chance on me. Here I was, a guy that was kind of at a crossroads in life, figuring out what I wanted to do with my future. I was working at Michelin as an engineer, had a bright future ahead of me, but wanted to fulfill purpose. And I felt like coaching was the best opportunity to fulfill purpose. And he took a chance on me. He gave me a job, no experience. He went on the word of Brad Scott and Coach Sweeney and Coach Bowden to give me an opportunity. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be a part of this program.
What has he meant to so many kids, across the spectrum?
I was only around for 2 years, but to see how he tried to run that program, to do everything first class, to hold those young men accountable, and the ones that I still have communication with from South Carolina State to this day, they talk about the impact that he was a hard man. He was a hard man on his coaches, hard man on his players, but you knew it was tough love. And he knew those kids needed tough love. And the ones that went to play for him, they knew what they were getting into. They wanted it. And obviously there was always challenges, whenever you're a coach with young men. But, hey, he's changed a lot of lives, including mine.
Coach Sweeney wasn't really happy with where the team was when we talked to him last Friday, with finals behind the players. Have you liked what you've seen in the last few practices?
No question. That was a challenging schedule, not just for the players, but for coaches as well. We're trying to recruit. We're trying to, balance practice and do a lot of different things. But once that weight was off their shoulders with no more finals, you instantly saw an increase in energy, a lot more focus. And I think that they felt like they were in a good place to be able to turn the page and start focusing on what we need to get done for this bowl game.
Can you assess what you guys think you're getting in Jay Dixon?
I think we're going to get a dynamic playmaker. Obviously, his body type right now is a little bit different than what we have. He's a smaller guy. The reason I fell in love with him is he reminded me a lot of Andre Ellington. When you watch his style, he's got great feet, great burst. He's fast. He's not a blazer, but he can run. You look at what he's done in his career. He knows how to make plays, and I think once he gets here in his weight room on our meal plan, being around these older guys, learning the game, I think you're going to see a guy that's very similar to Ellington.
You picked up a couple of big offensive linemen too, Jordan and Jackson. How excited are you about getting your hands on those big guys?
Man, a lot of people talk about, Deshaun and Mike and Wayne and all those guys, and hopefully y'all have kind of seen my sentiment has always gone to the offensive line. I would always talk about Jay and Mitch and those guys because really the key to your success offensively is can you win in the trenches, not just in the run game but also in pass blocking, and you need guys that can block these monsters on our practice field and also in this league. I mean, you're going to see some of the best defensive ends, some of the best interior D tackles, and if you don't have offensive linemen that can win at the point of attack, you're not going to have a chance.
From a scheduling point, where are you guys at as far as how much of the game plan and where you want to be with that?
We would like to leave here when we break practice tomorrow to have majority of it in, so that when we get to the bowl site, we're really just polishing it up. We've had we had several weeks as coaches to study the plan. Now the players have had a week of just focusing on it without exams on what the plan is, and we'll polish up tomorrow. We'll come back and polish up a little bit more on that day before the day we leave, and then when we get down there, we just want to make sure we're focusing on what the game plan is and nothing else added.
How do you, Dabo was saying yesterday, it sounded like Trevor will get a chance to come in during the spring. How do you get enough snaps for all these quarterbacks out there?
Yeah, that's a question for Coach Streeter. Okay? I'm struggling. I just have 4 running backs, and he's going to have, I don't know, he seems like he's got 12 quarterbacks over there that he's going to have to manage. But one thing about this program is the best man's going to play. And obviously you got to do it in the meeting room. You got to come out on the practice field, and then we'll have scrimmages to assess. And if you're taking advantage of your opportunities, then it's going to warrant more reps throughout the course of the spring. So we're excited. Definitely, I think it's going to be an opportunity for all those guys to see Trevor and see what he's capable of and have them raise their game to another level, so we're going to have great competition.
Do people understand how different Jackson Carman is, just as an individual as well as a player?
I don't think so. I tell you what, and you guys have been around me. I'm a very modest person. I don't brag on anything that I've done, but talking to him, it's like, okay, man, this young man is special. The recruiting conversation is totally different when a young man can pick up a guitar and learn how to play it by ear. I mean, that's impressive. And then you watch him in interviews, not per se the recruiting interviews, but in the one-on-one interviews during recruiting, you can see he's very articulate. You meet his mom, I mean, oh wow, you see why he is the way that he is. I think maybe a little bit misunderstood, because of some of in recruiting. A lot of times you can be on social media and there's really there's no context behind it. It's just words on the screen. But when you peel an onion back and you get to know that young man, you can see. And then obviously too, I think with his background, my background, we had a lot of similarities, so there was a good connection there.